Hello my witchy friends, welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you are a returning subscriber. My name is Sophie, I am the Midwest Magician, and today I wanted to do something a little bit different and take you along as I read some fantastic books sent over by Wiser. I figured right now would be the perfect time to do kind of a cozy reading vlog because it is getting quite chilly here in the Chicagoland area. So if you want to get cozy with me, if you're someone who's interested in witchy books, this is definitely going to be the vlog for you. I would love to invite you to go ahead, get comfortable, grab something warm to drink, and we will dive into these books together. And before diving into these titles, I did just want to say a thank you to Wiser for sending these my way. I am always so grateful and so appreciative to have the opportunity to read and share my thoughts on these books. So thank you so much again. The first book that I'm diving into is Enchanted Plants by Varla A. Ventura. This book really dives deep into the myths, the legends, and magical lore surrounding different plants. Varla Ventura is the author of several books, including Fairies, Pukas, and Changelings, a complete guide to the wild and wicked enchanted realm. A lover of all things strange, this extends into the weirdness and magic of the plant kingdom. With a deep interest in folklore and medicinal plants, she has been studying herbalism and botany for more than 30 years. Her plant knowledge comes from a combination of experimentation, formal classes in botany, and working in the horticultural industry for 15 years. She ran a retail nursery in Portland, Oregon, as well as in San Francisco, California, and operated her own landscaping business for more than 10 years. She is also the botanical brain behind Rotten Botany, a website dedicated to unusual plants. When not writing, she can be found wandering around the Minnesota woods and tending her poison garden. Varla's website is listed in her author bio, so I will have that linked in the description box down below, as well as a link to where you can purchase this book. This book is 6 chapters in length and about 277 pages, including the acknowledgments, and each chapter is a different section encompassing multiple different plants. Chapter 1 is entitled The Apple Doesn't Fall Too Far, a Queen's Garden of Cultivars and Edible Delights, and features plants such as apples, grapes, roses, pomegranates, and tulips, amongst a few others. Chapter 2 is The Cottage Garden of Earthly Delights, humble foods and story and legend, and features a few plants such as bean, cabbage, garlic, pumpkin, amongst a few others. Chapter 3, The Witch's Garden, What Doesn't Kill You Makes Your Heart Grow Stronger, featuring some poisonous plants such as deadly nightshade, mandrake, and poison hemlock. Chapter 4, Among the Fields and Valleys, Wildflowers, Meadowlands, and Other Things to Gather, featuring plants such as clover, dandelion, and straw. Chapter 5, The Woods Are Lovely, Dark, and Deep, Trees, Shrubs, and Woodland Dwellers, featuring plants such as birch, elder, and ivy. And that brings us to Chapter 6, The Marsh King's Daughter, Plants that Grow Near Streams, Bogs, Lakes, and the Sea, featuring plants like seaweed, water lily, and willow. There are a lot of things that I really enjoy about this book. The first of which is that it is a hardcover, and I typically am not somebody who gets myself hardcover copies of books, but this one is well worth it. It comes with a bookmark. The pages are beautiful and stunning with their images, and also really great quality, as they're kind of a shinier and sturdier type of paper. I also really love the way that this book is formatted with the different sections within each chapter, and for each plant we do get a botanical name, we see where it's native to, any additional names for that plant, as well as medicinal and magical properties, and then my absolute favorite part is going into the lore behind these plants. So I'm still reading through Enchanted Plants, and I think this book is really cool If you're somebody that is into green witchery, I think you're really going to enjoy this book, as well as if you're somebody that's interested in folklore. That's what this book is all about. It's very cool. There are two that I found in here specifically that I am very excited about, and you'll understand in just a second. The first one is Hazel. So I'm gonna sit and read the lore of Hazel, my dog's name, to her, because she's named after the plant. And the second one, I can't believe that they're both in here, but they have Willow as well. So I'm gonna sit and read the lore of Willow to her. I'm like really excited. I think that's gonna be so cute. So I'm gonna film that and hopefully the dogs will behave as I read them the lore of their names. But I just thought I would pause for a second from reading and let you guys know that I found my dogs in here. Okay, Hazel, so I'm reading this book and I found the lore behind your name. Do you want to listen? Do you want me to read it to you? Okay, I'll read it to you. Lay down. Okay, Hazel. I'm not going to play me actually reading it because I am a little bit embarrassed about my reading voice. I apologize, everybody. As you can see, Hazel is very enthusiastic about learning the lore behind her name, and rightfully so. I was surprised to learn that most of the lore comes from the Grimm brothers version of Cinderella, which is something that I have yet to read and I'm sure is going to send me on an entirely different rabbit hole at a different time. I trimmed down the footage, but please know that Hazel was just as excited throughout the entire reading of this lore. I found in this book the lore behind your name. Can I read it to you? Okay. Now, I've got to be honest with you, Willow was a lot less enthusiastic about getting a lesson on the lore of her name, which is honestly completely understandable. Just like Hazel's lore, Willow's is actually a lot heavier in nature, so I completely understand why she just got up and walked away in the middle of this reading session. I think Willow was a little less interested in hearing the lore behind her name, but that is okay. Something that I did find interesting about both of the stories for their names is that for each one, somebody took a branch or a twig and planted it at someone that they love's grave. I don't think there's anything really deeper to that as far as my dogs are concerned, but I did think it was an interesting little nugget that they both had in common. I am really loving this book. It has such a wide variety of plants and tons of lore behind it. I love how some of it is fairy tales and some is mythology. I think this book is something that a lot of people would really enjoy, again, especially if you're into like green witchery, if you're into folklore, if you want to work with different plants. This is definitely a book that can help you out with that. But I need to take a pause here and make myself some lunch. I am starving, and then we can go ahead and I'll dive into the next book. So while I was cooking my lunch, I started reading The Apothecary of Belonging, and I've gotten quite far because I was reading while I was cooking, I was reading while I was eating, and I have made it, I don't know if you can see where my bookmark is, I've made it about halfway through. Man, this is packed full of so much herbal information. It's got new ideas that I've never considered, such as making your own map. And it's called an Oracle of Belonging. And really the idea behind this is kind of just giving form or giving a visual representation of your inner landscape. So really it's encouraging you to be as creative as you want to with this and working within your own systems. So that is a really cool concept that I'm very excited to kind of see what I come up with for myself. But with that said, I am right now working through autumn, because right now in November we're in a kind of like hollow time where it's like not quite the harvest anymore. We're a little past that, and it's not quite winter either. So I feel like we're kind of suspended in time. So I'm really focusing on autumn and winter in this book and kind of what is recommended for these times. But I'm gonna keep reading. I really am enjoying this book so far. I think if you're somebody who wants to learn about herbalism and you're someone that's really into working seasonally, this is going to be such an awesome book for you. I'm really enjoying it so far. The Apothecary of Belonging by Alexis J. Cunningfolk really is a book that blends herbalism, magic, and mindfulness in such a beautiful way. Alexis J. Cunningfolk is an intersectional herbalist and community witch, focusing on embodiment, kinship, and curiosity that liberates. Her work has led her around the United States, from presenting at magical, herbal, and academic conferences to facilitating rituals for a handful of folks to hundreds. And it does have a website listed. Again, I will have that in the description box down below, alongside a link to where you can purchase this book for yourself. This book is broken into 3 parts. Part 1, called All is Land, There is No Other. Part 2, The Seasons, and Part 3, Weaving It All Together. In Part 1, we explore things like the spirits of the land, working with plant allies, an earth-centered practice, herbal energetics, and reading the land, as well as making our own maps, creating an oracle of belonging. Part 2 is really going to be the bulk of the book, and we go over all of the seasons, spring, summer, autumn, and winter. Within this part of the book, we learn about the gifts that each season offers, different inquiries to ask ourselves about the season, herbs to support our bodies for the season, as well as different plant allies to work with, going over things like the common and folk names, elements, zodiac signs, moon phases, what parts of the plant to use, their habitats and growing conditions, how and when to harvest, and a lot of other relevant information on the plants. After that, we go into the apothecary of the season, and then we wrap up the season with different recipes and rituals. It was really hard for me to choose a favorite section within the seasons, as I found everything was so packed full of very incredible information. I really look forward to implementing a lot of these beautiful rituals into my personal practice in the changes of the seasons to come. Again, Part 3 is titled Weaving It All Together and goes over when we get lost, belonging, and always coming home. This book has such a unique blend of herbal knowledge, seasonal practices, and folk-style plant medicine. The Apothecary of Belonging is absolutely a book I will be keeping handy to reference as the Wheel of the Year continues to turn. It is 253 pages cover to cover and features not only a lot of practical information, but it also has incredible illustrations, and as you can see, is just truly stunning to look at. I absolutely love the energy of this book. It is very thoughtful, very gentle and kind, and again, it feels like something you can really reference and return to again and again throughout the year. So if you are someone that's interested in herbalism from a magical, folk medicinal, and very soulful and thoughtful perspective, the Apothecary of Belonging is definitely one that you'll want to add to your bookshelf. I am getting so tired, y'all. This has been such a cozy day of reading. It is getting pretty late in the day, and I do have a few other things that I need to get done. I think tomorrow is when I will start reading the Witching Stones, but I do again have to get some other stuff done today. So I'm gonna go and get that done, get that taken care of, get some rest, and I will see you guys tomorrow, which is probably going to be in about 3 seconds from right now for you. Well, it's official, y'all. Chicagoland has received its first snow of the season. So for me, that means it is time to curl up with another book and spend the day doing some cozy reading. And as mentioned, I am reading The Witching Stones by Nicholas Pearson. If you have been around the channel since I started, I'm so sorry because those videos are not very good, but I used to have a series called Coffee and Crystals where I would sit down and talk about crystals as if we were just friends having coffee. Again, they weren't the best videos, but I am quite a crystal and stone lover, so I was really excited to start diving into the witching stones. Our author, Nicholas Pearson, has been immersed in all aspects of the mineral kingdom for nearly 30 years. As one of the leading voices in crystal healing today, he offers a unique blend of science and spirituality alongside a grounded, practical approach to working with crystals. He is a regular on the metaphysical circuit, frequently teaching and making appearances on podcasts and doing interviews. And there is a link for his website as well. I will have that in the description box down below, again, as well as a link to where you can purchase this book. This book is 265 pages and features 13 different chapters, all of which are dedicated to their own witching stone. I personally really enjoy the way this book was formatted. Each of the chapters goes into the stone itself. It also breaks down the lore behind the stone, as well as using it in the craft. Each chapter really does give a comprehensive deep dive into what we're learning about, why, the lore, and how to use it. Chapter 1 is entitled Flint, Promethean Fire. Chapter 2, Hagstone, Doorway to the Other World. Chapter 3, Ammonite, Serpentine Path. Chapter 4 is Fossil Urchin, Fairy Loaves and Starstones. Chapter 5, Salt, the Life Preserver. Chapter 6, Lodestone, the Stone of Attraction and Direction. Chapter 7, Lead, Malefic Metallurgy. Chapter 8, Toadstone, Fabled Gem. Chapter 9, Amber and Jet, Gems of the High Priestess. Chapter 10, Crossstone, Stone of the Crossroads. Chapter 11, Quartz, Frozen Light. Chapter 12, Moonstone, Gift of the Goddess. And last but certainly not least, Chapter 13, Emerald, the Lightbringer. What I think makes this book really special is that it's not just kind of listing out crystal meanings and correspondences. It really dives deep into their stories, mythology, folklore, and practical witchcraft. And it really gives you the best of both worlds, showing the historical and the magical context. I personally really loved this book. I think The Witching Stones is very thorough, but still very accessible. And you can tell that Nicholas Pearson has a real respect for the stones. I think it's perfect for witches, for healers, or really anyone that wants to go beyond surface level for crystal information. Again, I keep saying this about a lot of books that I read, but it really is the kind of book that you can keep coming back to for not only reference, but also inspiration. So if you're somebody who already works with crystals, or you've been wanting to dive deeper into the spiritual and historical context, The Witching Stones is an excellent choice. If you look closely, Freya makes a little brief appearance here. But folks, that is my lineup for this vlog. Enchanted Plants, The Apothecary of Belonging, and The Witching Stones. These 3 books each explore different parts of our natural and magical world, really diving into the folklore of plants, to seasonal herbal magic, to uncovering the mysteries and lore behind crystals that we love and work with. Each one really did give me something totally different, but all 3 of these books left me feeling a lot more connected to nature and a lot more inspired to move forward in my own practice. I apologize, I didn't film a talking outro. I feel like I am starting to come down with a cold. Hopefully you can't tell in my voiceovers here, but if you can, I do apologize. Once again, I wanted to extend a very heartfelt thank you to Wiser for sending these books my way. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog. I know it's a little bit different from my typical style, but I thought it would be fun to take you guys along on just a couple of cozy days of reading with me. If you made it to the end of the video, can you leave a little book emoji? I love to see who watches all the way to the end. Thank you so much for getting cozy with me and spending some time together. I will see you guys very soon for the next one. Bye.